we've got a new apex, a good apex, a very, very good apex. And quite rightly so. It's made up of Trykosaurus, which back in the day when Jurassic World Alive version numbers started with a 1, Trykosaurus ruled the roost. It was the top dog for a very, very long time, and it's only right that its hybrid should be just as effective. It's also made up of Trykovenator, which for a long time I think has been an underrated hybrid for me. I think it's needed some love, and I think with Trykovenator it's got some love. So without further ado, let's have a look at Trykovenator. So Trykovenator is a fierce, resilient creature. You can see the base stats there. HP peaks at 5,469 at level 30, and with the enhancement of 10%, that goes up to 6,016. If you apply 20 boosts, HP will get up to 8,204, and you'll get 9,025 with that 10% enhancement. In terms of damage, it peaks at 1,944 at level 30, and with the 10% enhancement, that goes up to 2,139. With 20 boosts, you'll get your damage up to 2,917, and with that 10% enhancement, that'll rise to 3,208. In terms of resistances, really the big news here is where there aren't any resistances. Damage over time is prevalent in the meta, so 0 resistance to damage over time is a major shortcoming. Trykovenator does, however, have a cleanse all negative effects within the fierce defense ability, which does reduce the damage over time impact overall. With swapping attacks as a dominant option across the meta, no swap prevention and resistance, again, is a major shortcoming. In terms of abilities, Trykovenator has a good variety of abilities that break shields, bypass armor, remove cloak and dodge, and nullify positive effects in opponents. It does, however, lack a group attack. I see Revenge, Definite Rampage being very popular. It has the advantage of a no delay as a revenge ability, but unlike other creatures, the revenge is not a priority move, and that's a shame. Taken straight from Trykosaurus, instant taunting Bulwark provides a priority move that will shield it from resilient and cunning class opponents. Moving on to Focus, Devour, Impact. This has a 1.5 times attack after breaking shields and bypassing armor, and then it gives it a 60% Devour heal for 4 turns, which is really beneficial. It has a medium resilient counterattack as another ability directly taken from Trykosaurus. The cleanse reduced damage will be invaluable along with removing cloak and dodge. Most meta creatures have resistance to swap out prevention. However, with extreme obstruction, Trykovenator gets a decent heal plus increases to damage and crit chance to place it in a good position for the incoming creature. If you're able to get that 5th enhancement, you'll get the reactive ability, which while it's in a heal state, it will get an increased damage of 15% for 2 turns, 2 attacks. Okay, so how do we make Trykovenator? So in terms of DNA requirements, as I said earlier, it's made up of Trykosaurus and Trykovenator, both unique creatures. Trykosaurus made up of Tyrannosaurus Rex and Ankylosaurus, which in turn is made up of Ankylosaurus and Kentrosaurus. Thanks again to FOUREIGHTYFIVE for these great designs. I'm really loving the clear layout of these slides he's pulled together. So thanks very much, FOUREIGHTYFIVE, and I hope you guys are finding these really clear to understand as well, and something that you can screenshot and reference at your leisure. And then we have Trykovenator, where we have that made up of Diplovenator and Trykovenator. Diplovenator is then made up of Diplocaulus Gen 2 and Concavenator. I'm hoping that both Trykosaurus and Trykovenator have been in the game for quite a long time, so hopefully everyone's got a good repository of DNA built up for those creatures, and hopefully we can unlock Trykovenator and level it up as well. Okay, so let's have a look at which creatures Trykovenator will be mostly effective against. So, along with Trykovenator's counter-attack ability, its main attack, Revenge, Definite, Rampage, removes dodge and cloak, thus nullifying the advantages to Compsognathor, Rajadorixis and Sarpanthera. Trykovenator also has 50% damage reduction resistance plus a cleanse of damage reduction as part of its counter ability. So again, Sarpanthera and Rajadorixis are pretty much nullified there. And those creatures relying on shields to reduce the damage they receive will have their shields broken as a result of all Trykovenator's attacking abilities, bar the counterattack. Instant Taunting Fortress provides Trykovenator with 50% shields and increased armor for 2 turns, 2 attacks to reduce the damage done by Concataloc, Platyrex and Stegosaurus ungulatus. So those creatures that are kind of highest vulnerability to Trykovenator are listed there. These are the most vulnerable creatures, and it's based on battle simulations in the Jurassic World Alive toolbox, link in the description. So in terms of which creatures Trykovenator will be least effective against, so first off we've got Affliction. Trykovenator has no resistance to Affliction, so Dracolux, Rajadorixis and Sinraptor will be able to afflict Trykovenator. Similarly, Trykovenator has no resistance to damage over time, so will be susceptible to such attacks. Again, you can see the creatures there that have the damage over time as their primary attacks. And Trykovenator relies on shields to limit damage received. So there you've got creatures that are able to break or nullify shields. And then bottom left, we've got swap in, break, nullify shield. So despite Trykovenator having an on-escape ability, Dracolux and Thylus Intrepidus will break or nullify shields when they swap in. And then we go on to swap prevention. Trykovenator has no resistance to swap prevention, so will be vulnerable to creatures that can lock it down if it tries to swap out. So again, the top counters to Trykovenator are based on battle simulations in the Jurassic World Alive toolbox. These creatures are considered the main dangers to Trykovenator. For Platyrex to have the advantage over Trykovenator, it needs to be faster and also go strike for turn 1. Now let's have a look at it in action. But anyway, what do you think of it? Please put your comments in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Whether you think it's meta, whether you think it's or not. Okay. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you very much for your time. See you soon.